¿Qué tal amigos? ¿Cómo están ustedes? Hoy día con el honor, el grandísimo honor de tener al mayor campeón del mundo de rally, una leyenda del rally mundial, estuvo aquí en nuestro país, obtuvo un muy buen podium en nuestro país en el WRC del 2019. Quiero introducirles a ustedes a Sébastien Loeb. How are you, Sébastien?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
We will try to start from your present in the sports. You are today switching from the BRX Pro Drive Dakar car and the Rally and the Extreme E. Which is how is your present? Are you having fun? It's a good position. Are you having a good time with that?
Yes, for sure. Extreme and Dakar are very different because Extreme the races are really short. It's only 5 minutes drive each time. In the Dakar, it's completely the opposite. It's some very long drives, and Rally Dakar is always famous. And I never won the Dakar. I finished 2 times on the podium, but never any victory. But I still enjoy driving. I enjoy Dakar for sure. For me, it's something new that I wanted to discover because driving electric is something different, and it's a new discipline which is very different with electric cars, girls, women driving. So it's something new. I wanted to see how it is, and for sure I have fun in that. And also for sure my main target is to try to win Dakar. Now the Dakar is not in South America anymore. For me, I enjoyed always driving in South America because I think the roads and the tracks was really good for my driving style. And now in Saudi, it's a bit more difficult for me, but okay, I will try my best again.
And a couple of weeks ago, we had the same interview with David Richards, and David Richards point very much about the troubles you were through in terms of the, especially on tire punctures. There was a nightmare on your presentation in Las Dakar. Which are the changes that have been they are happening today in compared to the car that gives you a lot of headaches last year for this new Dakar?
Yeah, it's quite a lot of changes because the regulation changed. So we had a lot, like you said, the main problem we had was the puncture because the tire we had was really small, and that was the regulation. But now they changed the regulation, and we will have some bigger tire. We will have also some bigger suspension travel, and the car will be wider. So it's a lot of evolution in the regulation, and I think drive worked very hard to try to improve the car to this new regulation. And so I never tested the car at the moment, but I'm looking forward to be there. I think it should be much better than what it was. So I'm really looking forward to test the car and to do the race.
One of the things that gives us from South America gives a good puncture this year was the new nomination of your co-driver, Fabian Lurkin is the name. It's coming on your right seat, and maybe this is a very question that will probably bother you in terms of, because most of the people will ask you what happened with Daniel, which is so many years, so many stories, so many championships, and we were all from this latitude. We are very impressed on what was happening on your right seat.
Yeah, but yeah, Daniel was with me all the time in WRC, and we had a good career together and good work together. But Dakar, the navigation is something completely different from WRC, and we started to have a little experience that from the five Dakar we did together. But it seems now the very top drivers in Dakar they need to do they do a perfect navigation, and more after the years the navigation in the Dakar is more and more complicated, and we saw this year that it was a bit difficult for us. We had a lot of mistakes in the navigation compared to the cars in the front, and and me also. It's I never tested any other co-driver in this discipline, so I think I needed to change something if we want to improve.
Same time you're driving an electric car with Cristina Gutierrez in the
Yeah,
Extreme E. How is that? Is the driving too different? The adaptation to that difference is easy? Is difficult? Is a complete different
yeah.
car?
For sure it's a different car, especially because with the electric the races are short, so we need to be 100% on the limit all the time, and so it's a different kind of race, and the car for sure is electric, so it's different to drive. But honestly, it's not so different to drive electric. I have a good feeling in the electric car. It's the engine is easy to manage. You have always the full power, and so for me it's fun to drive. At the beginning, I was a bit afraid that you don't have the feeling of the engine and the sound and all that. But finally, even with the electric, you have the sound of the electric engine, of the wheels and the bearings and things like that. So finally, it's not so disturbing to drive. It's even fun to drive because it's fast. It's fast. It has a lot of power. So for me, I enjoy it.
A month ago, something we had here, a legend, which is Ari Vatanen, and he talked about the French way of driving, headed by you and by Citroën. He was accustomed to be the slidings and making the cars go, and you were using the insides of the curves and the turns and
I don't know if it's really a change. I always drive like I feel, and I think for sure my driving style was always quite clean. I don't do big slide, and I'm more like a clean driver. And at my time, for sure, I think it made a difference compared to some other driver. And now we can see also in the World Championship that the style is quite clean also. So it's always depending a bit of the drivers, and each driver has his own style. My style was to be clean, but I think to be efficient you need a bit to be clean, but to have some slide sometimes can also be good. So it's just to find the right level of that, and I think also it's the evolution of the car at this time that makes that we can drive like this, because I think in the past the balance of the car was not the same as now, and they had to be more aggressive with the car to turn the car. Now the car are so perfect on the chassis side that you can just drive through and keep the good line and be efficient.
you obtained your nine titles with Citroën. How was was that very symbiotic relation with Sébastien Loeb and Citroën? It's like it's a solid name in the business. What are the feelings about your feelings about that Citroën brand in the present and compared to the past?
Yes, for sure. Citroën and me, we arrived together in the World Championship in the same time. At this time, it was Guy Fréquelin, the boss of the team, and he was just doing an amazing job with this team, and we we had everything we needed to be performant, and so I grew up and learned and took my experience in WRC with Citroën, and then we were on in a very good relationship, and everything was going perfectly for me in this team. So I didn't want to change, and so we were doing our career together, and at the end we achieved 9 world titles together, and that was just amazing. But I think I was giving them what they needed as a driver and as my experience to develop the car, and they were giving me all their experience and a great car. So, like you say, it was really symbiotic, and we had an amazing achievement together.
We only pick one. When the first non-Scandinavic driver won in the snow. Was that important to you? That winning?
Yes, for sure. It was amazing to win there, and because I always enjoyed driving in Sweden, and I was always performant, but I make a lot of mistake in Sweden, and it's still specific. It's I think the Nordic driver have this skill to be able to drive on the limit on the snow all the time, because they grow up there. They started the rally on the snow, and for us coming there is and being on the same level without doing any mistake is always difficult. And this year I was able to do it, but I think it was a few times in Sweden that I was fighting for the win or fighting in the front, but at the end doing some mistakes. And but I was really happy and proud one year to be able to reach the end without any mistake.
In the French drivers is a huge relation between the National Federation of Car Federation in France with the rally drivers, successfully rally drivers. You have yourself, you have Sébastien Ogier, you have Delecourt, you have Loeb, and now you have Camille. You have a what is it, and what is your experience and from that support that the French Federation gave to all these drivers to make it so successful?
Yeah, for sure. On my side, I had a very good opportunity with the French Federation when I was at the beginning of my career. They gave me the opportunity to drive in a World Championship when I was fighting in the French Championship. I was then in the French Federation team, and they gave me the opportunity to drive Saxo Kit Car, and then after the Toyota Corolla in the World Championship. That was that gave me the opportunity to show to the World Championship that I'm able to drive, and that I have and to show my level, and this opportunity for sure it was very difficult to get it without the federation. So at this time the federation helped me really well.
What do you think of that for more? I know it for a very short time, but it looks like it's a good project. Huh? What do you think about that?
I think today for sure it's the French young driver who seems to be the strongest. He doesn't have a big experience. But every time he had an opportunity, he was able to show that he's good, and now to arrive in WRC, he's already doing some very good things, that's the point that a lot of drivers are not able to reach. We can see sometimes some drivers doing some good things in WRC2 and then arriving really on the top level of WRC, they struggle more. And he seems to understand how it works, and I think he has a very good talent.
How was your experience driving for a Hyundai and an i20 and in Chile and having being third in that race? How was your experience in Chile?
For me, it was a really good experience. I always enjoyed South America because I have some very good memories from Rally Argentina and from the Dakar and so on. And Chile, when we came with the Hyundai, for me it was quite a lot of pressure. I didn't know what I will be able to do, and finally, I think it was at this point, it was my best result. When I finished on the podium, it was my first podium with Hyundai on a quite difficult rally with very nice roads, and so I had a lot of fun there, and I have some very good memories from this moment.
How do you see the future of the WRC with these hybrid cars? Do you think they are going in the right direction? What do you see? What is your feeling, or what is your opinion of this new car generation?
Yeah, for me, I think it was really important for WRC to go to the hybrid or electric or something different, because now the evolution of the world of the cars makes that I think you need to go in the same direction in the sport. So to do a change and to go to hybrid, I think is quite good, and I think the performance of the car will be very good, because from what I know, it will be a lot of horsepower, a lot of strategy to adjust the hybrid correctly and to use it correctly. So I think it will make it exciting, and I know also that in the WRC now they do some new chassis, which will be more similar between the cars, and with a very strong cockpits for the safety. So I think the way they are going is quite good. I think it will be still very spectacular to see the cars, and so I'm looking forward to see that in 2022.
Sebastian, and to finish this fantastic interview with you, I want you to give to send a little message to the young drivers, to all the people that will see this interview and wants to know the Sebastian Loeb advice for the future for them.
Yes. So what can I say? I think it's good never to give up. Maybe try to start in a promotion formula where you can really show your speed compared to the other with the same cars. In France, it works like this. You have some manufacturer championships like the 208 championship or the Clio Renault championship, and that's a good way to show your speed, and then try to be always concentrated, try to finish the rallies, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Ciao, Sebastian.
Okay. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.